Welcome to the presentation. Today we will see a demonstration of a working prototype solution that was developed by Buchanan and Edwards. The business faces acute document management problems, processing approximately 40,000 invoices per year. Each invoice typically contains around 10 pages, all of which are scanned and then filed. The problem arises when the vendors receive payments and are unable to track it back to their initial invoice. As you can guess, it's a very time-consuming process for the client to retrieve that information. However, B&E has proposed an e-scanning and filing solution using a leading ECM product. The product is closely related with Microsoft SharePoint, and it can be custom configured to capture the necessary metadata for each invoice and post it to the SharePoint library. It also provides the mechanism for index retrieval and viewing of the documents. So without further ado, we'll start with a simple scenario where an invoice arrives by email. The user opens up their Outlook, clicks the Knowledge Lake button, and selects Export Attachments. This will open the document up in PDF. The invoice is then sent to the Knowledge Lake Connect software. Connect adds imaging functionality to Microsoft Office applications, integrating them with SharePoint. It is in Connect where we will process the invoice by applying attributes to it called metadata. As you can see, we're entering our voucher number, our vendor name, date processed, and all the other information we'll need for index retrieval. Once the metadata has been added, we simply release it to SharePoint. You can also send single documents from a local or network folder directly to SharePoint. Highlight the document in the folder and right-click. As you can see, there is now a Send to SharePoint option under the Send To menu. Select this option, and the document will automatically be released to SharePoint. You can also index and export documents in Knowledge Lake Connect directly from Word or other Microsoft Office applications, similar to what we just demonstrated in Outlook. If we open up Word, click the Knowledge Lake tab. From here, you can index the document from Word and export it to Connect, where it can then be released to SharePoint. That was a quick way to send documents to SharePoint, but Connect also allows you to group multiple documents into a batch and then send to SharePoint in a group. However, you will need to provide the metadata for each document individually. We create our batch, select the documents we'd like to add to the batch, and simply release to SharePoint. In a little more complex scenario, we'll handle a situation where multiple documents are put on a scanner, batched together, and scanned into a single image file. For the software to be able to distinguish in between the documents, we'll use a separator page, which is a barcode. We'll put this barcode sheet between each invoice and scan it into a single file. For the purpose of our demo, though, we'll use a pre-scanned file. The component of Knowledge Lake that is utilized for this is called Capture. As you can observe, the software identifies the invoices separated by the barcode sheets and separates them into individual documents. Next, we'll go ahead and index them. To index our first document, we'll simply manually input the metadata. Now let's index our second invoice a little different. Here we'll show the point and shoot OCR feature of Knowledge Lake Capture. As you can see, we simply need to highlight the information we want and define it in the metadata. Now we'll go ahead and verify in SharePoint that the documents have been posted. There is a query web part available in SharePoint to pull up the saved invoices. You can modify the query as you wish. So for example, we'll enter the agency name of the invoice we processed, and then click Search. As you see below, the invoices processed earlier have been saved to SharePoint. Let's open one up. The Knowledge Lake viewer is used to view the invoices when the search utility is used. And as you can see, the metadata for the invoice shows up on the right side panel. There are a number of useful features available in the Knowledge Lake viewer. Here, we'll demonstrate the annotation feature. We'll annotate the invoice by placing a reminder for an approver in the workflow to review. One of the other features of the Knowledge Lake viewer is allowing the user to stamp a document as approved or any other configurable status. Next, let's save the document and close it. As we reopen the document from our SharePoint library, We can see that the annotations are saved within the document and reappear in the viewer. You can also choose to hide the annotations if you so wish. Oftentimes, users need to email portions of a large document. Let's go to SharePoint, open up one of our documents, and save it locally. Next, we'll scan the document in the Knowledge Lake Capture software, and then we'll remove the pages we don't want to send. As you can see, there's an option in the Capture menu for emailing the document. Simply select this option, and you'll see that it opens up an email with the document as an attachment. There are some additional features in the indexing process that we'd like to demonstrate for you now. In this HR-based example, we'll scan in a document that's been separated by separator barcode sheets. In this document, we've created a unique barcode sheet for each employee that, when scanned within the document, is recognized by the Knowledge Lake Capture software, which then begins to automatically look up and extract that employee's information from a database table. As this is done, Knowledge Lake Capture will then automatically populate the metadata fields in relation to that employee's information. This is just one of the many additional features of the Knowledge Lake software. We certainly hope you've enjoyed this demo of the Knowledge Lake software presented by Buchanan and Edwards.